So let's start with the life cycle patterns. In the lifetime of sexually reproducing organism, there is presence of two types of plant body, that is haploid and diploid. तो जो haploid body है, that is gametophytic. The diploid body is sporophytic. Now, on the basis of duration of haploid and diploid phase, the life cycle patterns can be distinguished into three main types. So, on the basis of duration of haploid and diploid phase, the life cycle patterns, they can be mainly distinguished into three types, that is haplontic life cycle, then haplodiplontic, or diplohaplontic life cycle. And the last one is diplotic life cycle. तो ये जो तीन तरह का लाइफ साइकिल पैटर्न है, अब यहां पर हम इसको डिटेल के अंदर स्टडी करेंगे. So let's start with the haplontic life cycle pattern. Here I am showing haploid phase, that is the gametophyte. So this is haploid gametophytic phase. ये जो gametophyte है, इसके अंदर mitosis होगी, and after the mitosis there is formation of gamete. And you know the process of formation of gamete, it is known as gametogenesis. So gametophyte results in the formation of gamete, that is known as gametogenesis. So after the gametogenesis, there is formation of haploid gametes. Haploid gametes banenge. Now these haploid gametes, they will show fusion, and you know that fusion of the gametes, this is known as syngamy. So ये जो haploid gametes है, ये fusion show करेंगे. They will fuse, they will fertilize. The fusion, it is known as syngamy. And you know the fertilization product which is formed, that fertilization product, it is known as zygote. ये गैमीट हैप्लॉइड है, ये भी गैमीट हैप्लॉइड है. जब गैमीट फ्यूज करेंगे, जो रिजल्टेंट प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, दैट प्रोडक्ट इज डिप्लॉइड. इट हैज टू एंड ploidy. Now this zygote, it will show meiosis. You know that in the meiosis there is presence of two phases, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So let's say this is zygote. ये zygote है. It undergoes meiosis 1. And after the meiosis 1, it forms two daughter cells. Meiosis 1 के बाद दो cells form हुए. Now ये जो दो cells यहाँ पर form हुए, now these cells they will undergo meiosis 2. Each cell which is formed, now it will undergo meiosis 2. और meiosis 2 के बाद ये जो cell है, ये 2 सेल बना देगा, ये जो सेल है ये 2 सेल बना देगा. So after the meiosis there is formation of the 4 products. You know that meiosis is a reductional division. So इसका मतलब जो भी प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, in the product now the number of the chromosome is reduced to half. Instead of the diploid, now there is presence of haploid condition. So meiosis के बाद जो प्रोडक्ट बनेंगे, these products they are spores. Meiosis is reductional division, so these products they are haploid. Now these haploid spores, after the germination, they will form haploid gametophytic body of organism. तो ये जो आप लाइफ साइकिल पैटर्न यहां पर देख रहे हैं, इसके अंदर this phase is haploid, gametes are haploid, ये भी haploid है. सिर्फ एक स्ट्रक्चर यहां पर डिप्लॉयड है, that is zygote. Yes, only this is diploid, that is zygote. So it means कि ये जो लाइफ साइकिल है, इस लाइफ साइकिल के अंदर ये जो phases हैं, these phases they are haploid. और ये जो phase है, this phase is diploid. So you can see in this type of the life cycle that haploid phase is dominant phase and the diploid phase is represented by only one cell, that is zygote. So when the diploid phase is represented by only one cell and there is dominance of haploid phase, such type of the life cycle pattern it is known as haplontic life cycle. तो haplontic life cycle के अंदर क्या important feature है? Dominance of haploid phase. Right. Now this type of the life cycle pattern it is shown by lower plants. This is the feature of lower plants, very commonly seen in green algae. So I will be writing the name of here, few green alga which show this type of the pattern. One example you write here, that is Eulothrix. I have discussed Eulothrix. This is known as winter alga. Then Spirogera. This is summer alga, then Chlamydomonas, unicellular motile alga. Right? So haplontic life cycle का main feature क्या है? That is the haploid phase is dominant and the diploid phase is represented by only one cell. What is that cell? That is zygote. Now coming to the second one. Now the second pattern which I am discussing here, that is haplontic life cycle. Now diplontic life cycle, it is characterized by the dominance of diploid phase. So this is diploid sporophyte. Now diploid sporophyte, it shows gametogenesis. It shows gametogenesis, and during the gametogenesis there is meiosis. So you know gametogenesis is gamete formation, or gamete they are universally haploid. तो haploid gametes बनाने के लिए ये जो sporophyte है, it will show meiosis. So gametogenesis के time पर होगी meiosis. So this one cell, after the meiosis 1, it results in the formation of two cells, two daughter cells. अब ये जो दो सेल यहां पर बने, they will undergo meiosis 2. So now there is formation of the 4 haploid products. ये जो products यहाँ पर बने, these products they represents gamete. Meiosis के बाद, gametogenesis के बाद जो gamete form हुए, now these gametes they will show fusion. You know the fusion of gametes. This is known as syngamy. Fusion is known as syngamy. After the fusion, there is formation of diploid product, that is zygote. दो haploid gametes fuse करेंगे, so एक diploid product बनेगा, that is zygote. Now here the zygote will develop, and after the development it results in the formation of the multicellular sporophytic body. तो यहां पर अगर आप देखिए, सिर्फ एक फेज है जो डिप्लॉयड नजर आ रही है, सिर्फ एक फेज है जो हैप्लॉयड नजर आ रही है, दैट इज दिस, दैट इज गैमीट. सो हियर ओनली वन फेज इज हैप्लॉयड, यस, विच इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय द गैमीट. और लाइफ साइकिल के अंदर बाकी जितनी भी फेजेस प्रेजेंट है, जितने भी स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट है, दे ऑल आर डिप्लॉयड. सो rest of the structures which are present, they are diploid. So here in this type of the life cycle, the gametes they represent haploid phase, and rest of the structures which are associated with the life cycle, they all are diploid. So here it means there is dominance of diploid phase. So when there is dominance of diploid phase, such type of the life cycle, it is known as diplontic life cycle. So diplontic life cycle का characteristic feature क्या है? Dominance of diploid phase, right? Now in the diplontic life cycle, one very important thing which we should understand here, that is in the diplontic life cycle, there can be presence of gametic meiosis, gametic meiosis means gamete बनने के टाइम पर meiosis हुई, और there can be presence of sporic meiosis. Yes, please make this point clear here. यहां पर जो मैंने लाइफ साइकिल बनाई है, इसके अंदर हम दिखा रहे हैं meiosis at the time of gamete formation. Now in the diplontic life cycle, there can be presence of gametic meiosis, or there can also be presence of sporic meiosis. Now gametic meiosis is feature of animals. Yes, gametic meiosis is generally the feature of animals. प्लांट के अंदर ये कंडीशन बहुत कम है, सिर्फ कुछ प्लांट्स के अंदर ये कंडीशन प्रेजेंट है. सो आई एम राइटिंग द नेम ऑफ दीज प्लांट्स हियर. वन इज फ्यूकस and the another one is sargassum, and you know that both of them they represents brown algae. So lower plants के अंदर the gametic meiosis can be present. Now let's cite the example for sporic meiosis. Sporic meiosis is present in all gymnosperm and all angiosperm. So this is very much clear. Diplontic life cycle and gametic meiosis is the feature of lower plants, few lower plants. And in the higher plants, instead of the gametic meiosis, meiosis will occur at the time of spore formation, that is the sporic meiosis. Now coming to the last type of the life cycle pattern, that is haplodiplontic or diplohaplontic life cycle. Now haplodiplontic or diplohaplontic type of life cycle. Right? Now here I'm starting the life cycle with gametophyte, that is haploid phase. Now this gametophyte, it will show gametogenesis. It shows gametogenesis. So gametophyte haploid है और haploid gamete form करने हैं. So gametogenesis के time पर mitosis होगी. Haploid gametes which are formed, now these gametes, they will show fusion. Yes. So the fusion of gametes will occur. So you know the fusion of gametes. This is known as syngamy. Fusion के बाद जो structure बनेगा, that diploid structure is known as zygote. ये जो zygote है ये फिर डेवलपमेंट शो करेगा और मल्टी सेलुलर स्पोरोफाइट फॉर्म होगा. So you can see here this presence of the multicellular gametophytic phase as well as zygote here is forming multicellular sporophytic phase. Now this sporophyte, at the time of spore formation, it will show meiosis. Spore formation के time पर meiosis होगी. So the spores formed after the meiosis, they are haploid. Haploid spores, they will develop and results in the formation of haploid gametophyte. Haploid spore develop करेगा और haploid gametophyte form होगा. तो इस लाइफ साइकिल के अंदर आप देखिए ये जो स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट है ये हैप्लॉइड है. यस. और यहां पर ये जो स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट है, जो प्लांट बॉडी प्रेजेंट है, दैट इज डिप्लॉयड. सो इट मीन्स हियर this is representing haploid phase. This is representing diploid phase. So ये जो लाइफ साइकिल पैटर्न स्टडी कर रहे हैं, इस लाइफ साइकिल पैटर्न के अंदर आप देखिए देयर इज equal duration, almost equal duration of haploid as well as diploid phase. So such type of the life cycle pattern, it is known as haplodiplontic or diplohaplontic life cycle. The two phases, they occupy almost equal duration. जो haplodiplontic life cycle है, this is present in bryophytes. All bryophytes. Bryophytes के अंदर जो main phase है, that is gametophyte, that is haploid. So main जो parent body है वो haploid है, तो वहां पर हम कहेंगे haplodiplontic life cycle. But in the pteridophytes, the main parent body is diploid. So there we will call it as diplohaplontic life cycle. So this is in all pteridophytes. So you got this? सारे bryophytes के अंदर haplodiplontic and in the all pteridophytes it's diplohaplontic life cycle. अब लाइफ साइकिल के अंदर ये जो दो ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल फेजेस हैं, if these two phases they are morphologically similar, ये जो दो फेजेस हैं अगर ये morphologically similar है, then it is known as isomorphic life cycle. isomorphic alternation of generation, isomorphic haplodiplontic life cycle. And this condition is present in green algae like alga, cladophora, one brown alga, that is Actocarpus. I am mentioning the name of one brown alga where isomorphic alternation of generation is there. When the two phases, they are morphologically different. ये जो haploid or diploid phases है, they are morphologically different, then now you will call it as heteromorphic alternation of generation. This is present in all bryophytes, all pteridophytes, and in the brown algae, I will be writing example, that is laminaria and other kelps. Right. So this is all about the life cycle patterns. In the haplontic life cycle pattern, we studied that the dominant phase is haploid. In the diplontic life cycle, dominant phase is diploid. And here in this type of life cycle, you see that there is equal. Yes, the duration of the two phases is almost equal. So this life cycle pattern, it represents haplodiplontic in bryophytes and diplohaplontic in pteridophytes. So this is all about the plant kingdom. In the next class, I will be starting with the new chapter. Thank you so much.